The regular Mount Pleasant City Commission meeting of Tuesday, March 17th, 2020. Have our call to order, and if please, Mike, if you'd lead us in the pledge, and Robert, do the invocation, please, sir. All right.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Dear gracious God, we come to you this evening, Lord, and so thankful for this blessed day and this opportunity to meet here tonight, Lord. We've got a lot of things going on in our local community and surrounding areas. Father, we pray for those that are suffering because of the issue that's going around our nation today. Father, we pray for our leaders. We ask that you lift them up and help them to make the right decisions. Tonight, Father, as we stand here in discussion of city business, Father, we just pray that we do what's beneficial to our local community and our residents here, and also to the city of Mount Pleasant. We give you thanks and ask all these things in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Notice we have a smaller crowd. That's
Thank
some
you.
people, they're not on the agenda, they don't need to be here.
Good. That was an excellent choice. All right, roll call, please, ma'am.
Ms. Cranberry? Absent. Mr. Davis?
here.
Mr. White?
Here?
Ms. Blankenship? Here. Mr. Smith?
Here.
And we have a quorum.
All right. Now we have the approval and correction of minutes of we had the study session of February the 13th, and then the reading of February the 18th, and the 18th came out today.
Yes. You should all have that in front of you at the
Yeah.
table. If you'll just kind
I
of
know.
vote on the most recent version.
Yeah, Kate wanted to make some changes, what you got with Corey, I think.
Mhm.
Got that done, so read through, and once I got it, it looked fine to me. I'll let somebody else make that motion.
I'll make a motion we accept the minutes.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
This is for both the minutes.
For both of them.
Okay.
All right, number 5, awards, presentations, and appointments, certificate of compliance for Jeff Kennedy.
This is required every 2 years, Mayor, for anybody that's selling anything of beer and wine, and he's on top of it, and all we do is you vote to accept the certificate of compliance, his background check, back fine, and then you'll sign off on the fact that he did get his certificate of compliance.
Any questions on this? It's just annual, biannual.
Every 2 years, yeah.
So we do need a motion and a
Yes,
second, correct?
it needs to be in the minutes,
I'll make
yeah.
Motion for certificate of compliance with Jeff Higgins.
We have a motion, we have a second.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Now we have Mount Pleasant Power System, the reappointment, and the power system has sent me a letter and requested that Justin Robinette continue to serve on that board. So I would accept that, entertain a motion if we approve.
I'll make a motion we keep Justin on the,
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Got a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 6, completion review of unfinished business, ordinance 2020-1048. This is a public hearing and a final reading. An ordinance considering recommendation from the Planning Commission regarding a requested amendment to, this is the property that's located on North Main Street that had been requested to be 3 lots. And that was denied by the Planning Commission.
Correct, and we have not had any feedback since you all heard feedback at the last meeting, but Corey will review, just like she always does, what we need to be considering.
Yep.
Okay, so these are the 4 factors that you need to consider when you're deliberating on this zoning amendment. The first one is whether this amendment is in agreement with the land use plan for the area. Number 2, there will be no adverse effect upon adjoining property owners unless such effect can be justified by the overwhelming public good or welfare. Number 3, no property owner or small group of property owners will benefit materially from the change to the detriment of the general public. And number 4, conditions affecting the area have changed to a sufficient extent to warrant an amendment to the area's land use plan and subsequently the zoning map. So we do need to have y'all discuss these, for the public hearing. So
And you did kind of the first reading.
I
Yes,
did it.
you did the first reading.
I gave my opinion on the first reading, and my concern is that to the 4 questions you have to answer, number one, it is affecting just a very small group. It stands to gain from that. Number two, the area that the folks that lived there came overwhelmingly against it. And,
Actually, one resident came to the planning commission thinking he gets Mr. Anderson that owns property right across the street, that he may not be here tonight because of not knowing that we have a meeting as a result of all this. But he came to the planning commission concerned.
So did Mr. Feinstein.
yeah, we had a whole big group here at that initial meeting. So, anyway, that's my discussion on it. And if anybody else would
That'll
like
be
to throw
mine,
anything up
the
here.
people, against it, so, it may have reason to be against it, so.
But, I agree with all that was said there as well. The agreement with the plans for their area, I thought were different in our original plan, our overlay.
Single family.
Some of the things, single family, and so I'm definitely not opposed to a single family home being there. I think it should be, but, and then as far as no adverse effect, I will agree that, the majority of the people that, besides the gentleman who would like to build it, have said a more negative comment about it. And it seems like the only person that really benefited would be the small group who would be building the properties. And I don't see where our area has changed to support that, so.
Okay, and as mayor, you said this is a public hearing.
That's correct. So is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak to this? Please let the minutes show that no one offered to speak to it. So with that being said, I'd entertain a motion that we deny the original request. Is that correct, Cory?
In agreement with the planning commission.
Yeah, we were in agreement with the planning commission.
You can accept the zoning ordinance, or accept ordinance.
Yeah, I make a motion that we accept the ordinance 2020-1048 as presented, which was agreeing with the recommendation of the planning commission regarding that property on Main Street.
And I will second that.
We have a motion and second. I request a roll call vote on this because it is what it is.
Okay. Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Ms. Blankenship? Yes. And Mr. Smith?
Yes.
4-0.
All right. All right, number 7, monthly report from Mayor, and Kate and I are going to kind of try to piggyback this a little bit. We're going to talk briefly because I think we're getting to a point where it's growing like a wildfire about the coronavirus or C-Boyd, whatever it might be, or whatever. Kate and I have been talking extensively for the last couple of days, just about, all right, where are we, what do we think we need to do? We are going to continue to keep City Hall open until we see some type of negative effect. In Kate's comments to me, we don't have a ton of people in here at any one time anyway.
So we're reviewing it daily.
Yeah, so if we see the need to do that, we're going to act very quickly, so y'all understand if all of a sudden you're hearing that we have closed City Hall, it will be because of factors that we have been informed of or know that it needs to happen, because we need to keep our employees and citizens as safe as absolutely possible. We are going, as badly as I hate to say this, we are going to try to reschedule the Chamber of Commerce banquet that was next Thursday. And again, I said attempt to reschedule because the presenter is out of Florida, and we've just got to try to get back on his calendar. We're going to postpone at this time. We're not sure about a reschedule right this minute of Thunder on the Murray, because that was going to now be a county/city event. And we just feel like that's best to do right now.
Agreed.
And Kate, you're open up, that's kind of where I want to leave it.
Okay,
And you-
so, as you know, because you and I have talked, I kind of have Philip as my right-hand person on this, keeping in touch with Office of Emergency Management and the Health Department. And we are partnering with the power system, Al Kirstein's. We're kind of doing the same thing with them for sure, bouncing ideas off of each other. So that's really been a good partnership. So we're just closing the community center, that's just not doing anything there. And right now, on a daily basis, City Hall's open, everything else, we're just sanitizing everything in every department on a regular basis. If you come by City Hall, I would be shocked if you don't see somebody sanitizing a doorknob or something like that. We've got thermometers, we are going to send people home if they have a fever, we are going to pay them, we're not going to talk about sick leave, we're just going to pay them to stay home. That's the exact same thing the other cities and the power system is doing. We do need supplies, and we've got them ordered in several areas, hand sanitizer, Lysol, and paper towels, because we just can't get them. We can't even get them through our office supplier.
Yeah, I can't either.
We're gonna review cutoffs next week on the 26th of whether we do cutoffs and whether we charge, and don't know that, and I'll probably be sending things out to you as we get closer to it. Don't know how long the list will be. The strategic planning March session on March 26th will be rescheduled at a later date. The March 24th chamber dinner that the mayor talked about is canceled, and we hope to reschedule it. Marshall McGall really wants to reschedule it. Easter egg hunt is canceled, Thunder River Murray is canceled, and we really are talking with our local retailers on any way we can assist them in this next couple of months. Any non-essential work is going to be canceled. All of this is in an email to you guys if you haven't seen yet, and we are possibly staggering work schedules so we don't have employees in contact with each other. It is going to change. It's going to be a moving target. I think it's going to get better before it gets worse, and that's everything I continue to hear. But I also don't want to be
It's
it's
worse.
going to get worse before it gets better.
Yes.
Maybe I wanted to say it that way. It's going to get worse before it gets better. But I don't want to be, doom and gloom, but I do believe that that's going to change, and the communication that I will use for all of you will be email. Unless you have a problem with email, let me know.
And then I want to reiterate one other thing, please don't reply all when she sends that out.
Yeah.
And one of the things Kate and I have discussed, some of these downtown retailers, and all retailers in this community, if they start seeing they're going to get a little slow, we may actually waive some late fees instead of, I mean, guys, this is real. I was on a trip over the last 3 days with a guy that owns 12,000 apartment units in Atlanta. And I said, what in the world are we all going to do? He said, well, we're just going to wait late terms. That's all we do. We don't want to leave it. So we certainly don't want the downtown retailers leaving either.
No, we don't.
And you have the
It
federal government.
doesn't have to be downtown retailers. I want to change that to retailers within the city of Mount
I
Pleasant.
agree, Bill.
Yeah.
Not just downtown.
It affects all of us.
It's not
Right.
just a little group. It's going to be a bunch of folks.
And you've got the federal government telling people not to go anywhere.
That's
right.
So how does that help your business, Dolores?
Well,
It doesn't help it any, does it?
I mean, we've already taken, we will be closed during the day now, and our hours are 4 to 9 on Wednesday and Thursday and Sunday, and from 4 to 10 on Friday and Saturday. We don't have any choice. I mean, we can't do any of the things that bring in numbers of people. I mean, we could, but...
You all have seen the
people-
grocery stores, so you know what's
Are
going
the
on.
people
Yeah.
going to come, just so you know this too, I know you know this, but for the retailers getting their stuff, particularly food supplies and that, it's not coming out of Nashville anymore, it's coming from Alabama and away. Our food supplier, Cisco, was totally demolished in Nashville. So our food, we didn't get a food supply for 8 days. So, and they're their school suppliers, so they are really panicking. The schools are doing a great job with getting food for these kids during this time, because they have been in a crunch. And if you see someone from Cisco, please tell them thank you for the job they're doing. 6 rigs pulled into the truck stop and dropped their trailers, and 6 more pulled in on the other side, and they swapped. 6 full ones for 6 empty ones, and went on. So, I mean, that's driving nonstop.
So we'll just, I don't want to get this any more excited than we have to, so we'll just kind of leave it there. I am going to be on a phone call in the morning at 10:30 with the governor about it, so.
Things will change, I'm sure.
I'll relay what happens on that phone call to Kate and let her send
Thank
something
you.
out about what happens. So, any questions about that?
No, sir.
This does not need a motion,
No.
correct? All right, number 8, monthly financial and budget report.
Roll.
You do have a copy of the full financial report. Again, we have ended our property tax collection season. It did extend over about, because of the way the month fell, you know, we had $145,000 collected between March the 1st and 3rd. So we got a huge chunk after February 28th, primarily because people had postmarked their taxes the 28th, but because it landed on a weekend, we didn't get them here in the office till 2nd, 3rd, and some of them even 4th. I was still a little disappointed at our collections this year, not in a major way that I would think we would need to make any kind of drastic adjustments. It's just that it was down from last year. Last year at this point we had collected 98%. This year we were at 95%. So it was down just a little bit, but like I said, not anything that I think would cause us to panic or to be concerned, but was just a little bit disappointing. Other than that, our cash balances and everything are remaining steady. We have a cash and checking in the general fund of a little over $2.3 million. The gas fund balance is a little over $4.5 million, and the water has $6.4 million, but that's a little bit, that does include the USDA.
It's distorted, yeah.
Yeah, it makes it distorted. It makes it look like we got a lot more money than we do.
It's getting ready to start.
Yeah. That money is designated, it's earmarked already. Of the operating, we have $1.3 million in our operating account. So that is, that's a pretty good number. Of course, February would be the larger of that. February and March are the larger 2 months would be for the general fund. So have any questions?
Any comments or questions?
I thought it looked all pretty good.
Yeah, we have a motion to accept.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the financial.
We got two motions.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
I'll second.
And Mike.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Monthly report from city manager.
Just since the mayor and I have kind of covered the most recent stuff, the State of the City will be put together by the department head reports, and it'll be ready for April 1st. That's
Nothing
it.
from wastewater or nothing from gas.
You do have something, I did not see it in my packet, so I've put it in front of you. Barge is trying to do
Still
an
working.
update, very little, very little update from this last month and this month. I mean, I'd love to tell you we spent millions of dollars and we're well on our way, but it's just a crawling process. So the biggest thing is we are out to, we've already contracted with the headworks at the plant. That should start in the next couple of months, and then slowly you're going to see the trunk line is going to be set out to bid shortly. But still, even if there's not much change, we're doing a monthly report every month.
Has there been any feedback on I guess, the new sewage plant or whatever, where they went, and checked it out? Or
Yes,
Yeah, they do this.
yes, there has been. So we sent Keith Odom and Eric Kennedy. They really like the new system. They definitely prefer it way over Biomag. And Keith's not here because he's meeting with Bobby Nutt at Public Works, but same thing. There's a lot more confidence there, a level of confidence there, and I think that everyone is happy that Biomag got more census so that we can go to this MBR system. Everybody would love SBR, but you're talking a couple $1 million more, so I think we're headed, things kind of happen for a reason, I think, for us.
We hope so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Okay. Do we need a motion or?
No.
Okay. All right, number 11, new business. A, ordinance 2020-1049. This is a first reading. An ordinance amending Title 15, Chapter 6 of the municipal ordinance of the city of Mount Pleasant, Tennessee, to establish no parking zones on designated streets.
We've been looking at this for a while, Mayor and Commissioners, brought in the help of MTS to take a look at it as well, and we're ready to move forward on this. And if any of you have driven down these streets, you know, we've had actually an accident very recently, and then last night had a fire where we had to get on the street. So what I've recommended to the police department, assuming your approval, is that if you approve it on first reading, we get something out to the residents right away saying, this is happening, that this is what's going to be expected, you know, let them share their concerns with us, and so before we ever make it only parking on one side, they've had plenty of notice and we've talked through it. So I wanted to get your approval on the first reading before we did
Yeah, I
that.
just wanted to
If
make
you've
sure.
driven it, it's
It's not
narrow.
good. I drove it right before after the meeting, and you can't get through there. But I want to reiterate my statement that I want to make sure we notify the residents.
It's all about communication, or it could be a real negative thing, yeah.
Because it's real.
Anything else, Jack?
And we talked about which side of the street.
Yeah,
Yeah.
northeast.
Mhm.
High Street.
That's in the ordinance
High-
now.
High Street total, you
Yeah.
can't park.
Yeah.
And then the northeast side, which would be the side back towards town.
The side that would backside the houses on Lawrence.
That's correct.
That's where you can park.
That's where you would be able to.
The way the ordinance is written is northwest, you cannot. So I think we're good.
Northeast.
So I want to make sure we're saying it the same way.
It says in here it's northeast side.
With
Okay.
no parking.
Okay.
And when I drove through there, I made sure, all right, this is north and this is east.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
Make sure we're on the same page.
Okay.
It's
So, yeah,
northeast,
no-
which
no-
means it would be, if you turn left
North-
off of First,
And that's
it's gonna be down the
because they
left
don't have
side.
driveways over there anyway, guys. I
So,
mean,
Yeah, that's the problem with that, that the side that would be northeast would be the side that the houses would, backside the houses on Lawrence, and most of those don't have driveways,
Yeah,
whereas
that's
the ones on the west side have driveways.
the way it's written right now is no person shall park a vehicle for any purpose or period of time on High Street or northwest side of Edgewood.
Okay, that's
Uh,
right.
Okay, northwest, it does say
We'll
northwest.
make sure that we're all
All
on the
right,
same page.
then I think it's on the wrong side.
Yeah, I think it is too.
Because the north, it needs to be, let me just say this, I drove
Closer
down
to
that
Main
street.
Street or further?
If you turn off left, off of First Avenue onto Edgewood, it needs to be the houses on the left side of the street,
Where you can't park?
where you can't park, because if you're on the right side of the street, they all got driveways, and plus, they're going with the traffic when they park. When I went over here today, there was 3 cars parked going the wrong way on the left side of the road.
Well, that we can deal with by ordinance already, because parking against the flow of traffic is
All right.
an issue.
All right, we're either gonna get this right, or we're gonna defer this, because I'm all with you, it needs to happen, but let's get this right.
If
because
you-
Well, it's
This
gotta
is
be
just the
done.
first reading.
We can be liable.
Absolutely.
You know, it.
Let's make sure,
That's
so
what I-
MTS has made a recommendation, and the police department's involved. This is first reading. Obviously, we can make changes in second reading, and it's a public hearing in the second reading. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. I thought for sure Michael Hayes said northwest, and I just want to make sure that we're we're all on the same page. So
Well, I do too.
yeah, we'll all get together.
No parking on the northwest side, which would allow parking on the northeast side. That's what,
Yes, that's what.
which would be the side,
I think we're saying the same thing very differently.
yeah. If you come off of First Avenue, if you drive, you turn on to Edgewood off of First Avenue, I'm pointed that way. This side of the road would be no parking, which would be the side toward Reservoir Hill.
That's correct.
But you can park on the other side.
You can park on the other side with the flow of traffic.
exactly.
I'm fine with that. I just wanna make sure you get it right.
Yeah, so
That's right.
let's
Yeah,
move
you're right,
forward
we
with it,
had
but
one
we'll
more
make
reading on this.
We'll have a little picture with cars.
I can look.
I will get the diagram.
Yeah.
So the right side is the west side.
Yeah, it is,
Okay.
definitely.
Depending on which way you're going.
All right, do I have a motion that we accept this?
I'll make a motion that we
And a second,
accept.
please.
I'd be scared to have my
Yeah.
name on it.
We got a second by Commissioner Mike, and so all those in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carries for the first reading. B, Resolution 2020-7, resolution to apply through THDA Home Program Fund for substandard housing concerns.
And this is a program that became available, and there was quite a bit of money, that if people have houses that don't meet the minimum qualifications for our zoning code, that it's a grant We are literally a pass-through. All the work is done by South Central Tennessee Development District. They inspect the homes, they choose who gets the awards, and we're just applying for it, and by passing this resolution, you're giving us permission to apply for it.
Which, I mean, it sounds like a positive thing all the way around to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't find anything negative in this at all.
No, Robert said years ago that his office, years and years ago, was
Mhm.
involved in it, and I said, no.
This
I
was a
mean,
negative thing.
yeah, because then he'd pick all his best friends and they'd all get
Yeah.
grants, so we don't need to be involved in who gets the money.
I like the way it's,
Yeah,
makes us
So-
a good guy.
we just have to submit the fact that the commission said it was okay to, apply for this money.
All right. All the, do we have a motion?
I made a motion that we accept Resolution 2020-7 regarding the substandard housing concerns as presented.
All right, we have a motion, we have a second.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. C, Resolution 2020-8, a resolution to update the internal control policy.
Mayor and Commissioners, you've got a lengthy document with
Very lengthy.
lots of highlighting. Most of that, and I'm certainly let Loretta comment on it, but most of that is because we have changed, upgraded software, and so processes have changed, and so everywhere the process changed in the internal control, it highlights that we're changing this, and we're changing this, and we're changing this.
It will change from time to time.
Here's, the employee and internal control policy should be updated pretty regularly
Yeah.
anyway.
I think we're almost doing it annually, yeah.
Here's my question. How many of y'all have had the opportunity to read this? I got it today. I've been out of town. I'm sorry I did not have time to read it. But as I started going through it, there are a number of pages that there are changes of.
Yes,
Do
sir.
you want us to, if you want to defer it, we can give you bullet points.
Do you mind?
Yeah,
I mean,
she might be
would
able to-
anybody object to that?
She might be able to explain it to you very simply,
go
better than I can.
I like bullet points because this is a rather large document.
Mm-hmm.
And I went through it today, and it just got to the point where it sounds like we're double timing it, so to speak, and some of this stuff. Because I understand you got to, because you changed one word to and, you got to change the word and over here. And I'm sure that's what a lot of this is.
We can do that, you'll understand that we've had to make changes because that software has
We don't have
changed and
any
we're
choice.
doing it.
And
but, yeah.
look, I'm all about keeping up on internal controls.
So we'll just put together a list of bullet points.
Yeah, and then
I'm all about that.
the
Trust
couple
me,
of,
bankers are, aren't we?
couple of large things that the larger changes that we made is that, we would, there was another utility in the area that had an issue, and their issue was they did not have enough segregation in their, adjustment policy, so we are being proactive and adding another person in that adjustment process, just to give another pair of eyes looking at it, so that wouldn't be an issue here. It is not an issue here, it has not been. It's just that, we
Dual control,
recognize,
good thing.
yeah, we're taking somebody else's mistake and,
Making it
So
right.
if you see
Right.
any real issues of us just kind of pushing this off for one more month and.
30 days and getting us, hey, it doesn't have to be this great big document, one page of bullet points, this is why, and you might just do it by page, because again, I went through and
I'll give it a little bit.
there's all the pages that are,
Not a problem.
Yeah, it's very similar to a lot of the changes that we've had with some of the upgrades and the software we've had. I mean, y'all are having to.
you gotta address it.
Yeah.
yeah, it's like, sometimes the old reports, well, like, for instance, I forget what the old one was, report on page 17, the new report's called the cash requirements report.
It's like I said, there's probably a lot of it
Very
that's nothing
simple.
but words,
Okay, so we'll put it on the April agenda.
Okay.
Not a problem.
please.
Good with that.
You make a motion?
Do we have a motion to
Yeah.
defer that until
Defer
the
that
April
till-
meeting?
I'll make a motion that we defer that until the April meeting.
Second,
I'll second it.
got a second, all those in favor? Aye.
Uh,
Opposed, motion carries. And thank y'all for that.
No problem.
I meant to call you earlier today, and things ran into one thing. ran
I knew it was a
into
big thing going out in email, so not a problem. And
And
we
I'm
really
gonna take
didn't have,
I'm gonna take responsibility for it. I've been out of town, and I just hadn't,
quite a while.
honestly, we didn't have it all ready for you at study session, so that's not a problem.
okay, cool. All right, D, city managed performance evaluation and raise.
Everybody should have this, if not
Yeah,
digitally and hard
everybody
copy.
got it.
Okay.
We, I forwarded this to Kate today to get out. Corey has a copy of it as well, and this is actually from MTS. We chose MTS last year to do it, and this year as well, because of the fact that it stays neutral. It's, each of you have the opportunity to turn in your own thoughts, and it goes central to MTS versus coming to myself. And this report was, again, I want to reiterate, was put together by MTS, and I wanted to make sure each of you saw a copy of it. But as you can see, the range of scores on all of this are anywhere from 4 to 5. There's one that's 3 to 4, 3 to 5, 3 to 5, but all of them, without question, are is that Kate, among the commission, thinks that Kate is doing a very, very good job. Number 4 is actually exceeds expectations. If you look at it, the average score on this, from what I could get out of it, was about 4, 4.25. And with that being said, because of the fact that Kate has not received much at all in an increase in her salary with this company. Sorry, I'm looking at it like a business owner. That's okay, it probably should be.
It is.
I think I think it's past time that Kate receives the compensation that she's due for the job that she's doing for us. I'm gonna request that we give Kate a 10% increase due to the fact that it is overwhelming that her job performance by all of us turned into MTS is above what we should, or what we would expect. Again, I want to reiterate that there have been some previous years that Kate didn't get anything, and that was not this commission's responsibility, that was before us. So I'm just going to make that recommendation and listen to comments, and then I'll
I
entertain
mean,
a motion.
I guess there was reasons behind that too, I mean, I'll say that,
Yeah, okay.
you know, so.
And Kate and I talked about that.
I mean, you already know my feelings, and
Absolutely.
And I hate to vote no.
I get it.
And I do, Kate, I hate to vote no, because if you go back and look at mine, I promise you mine was a 4 and 5. But it's just the way that I felt,
Where you want to get other employees.
yeah, and I, you know, and I apologize.
No, Mike, you don't have anything to apologize for. You're standing by
Well,
what you
it
think.
is, it's just my belief. And
That's all right. It's just what you think. It's all right.
But like I'm saying, I hate to, when the vote comes through, I hate to say that.
That's all right.
Because it looks like I am voting against Kate, which, in honesty and sincerity, I'm not, it's just going to 10%.
I get it. It's okay. It's all right if we agree to disagree, just as long as we do it professionally, and that's what we're doing. So with that said, any other comments?
I guess just do a roll call.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, roll call vote, please, ma'am.
Does it need a motion? Do we have a motion in a second?
I can't make that motion.
I'll make a motion that we, give Kate 10% raise.
I can make that?
But you need
Then
to
I'll
accept
second.
the evaluation.
Yeah.
You need to
Yeah.
accept the evaluation.
I'll make a
We need to
motion that we
accept the
accept Kate's
evaluation.
valuation as presented and agree with the 10% raise.
Good. Second, I'll second it.
I have a question.
Okay.
When does the raise go in effect? Do we need
I was
to
going to
put
ask you the
that
same thing.
April 1.
in? Okay, we need to put that in the motion, that the
That
raise.
way we don't have to go back, I hope you're fine with that.
I'm
do all
fine with
this
that, I'm just trying to
retro
figure
stuff.
out what the
We need to
Spend
put
time
that,
to go back
payroll
and figure
day
that
is.
do we need to put that in the motion?
Yeah, can we
I
get
did.
it?
Could you
Okay.
add that to your
I will
motion?
make a motion that we yes?
Can we do it on the payroll start date?
Yeah. So that would be, if that's March.
Would be actually be
It's either the 27th of March or it's the 10th of April.
holiday.
I'm about March.
So it's
I'll
next
make that
Friday.
motion, we accept the evaluation of Kate Collier as presented with a 10% raise effective on March 27th.
There you go.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second.
Have we made the motion correctly to accept the evaluation? And, okay, I second it.
All right, Commissioner Davis, would like to comment.
That was the only thing, I was just wondering if it could be made separate.
All right, you'll have to explain that.
I
And
understand,
the
I
only reason I'm
understand.
saying that, Bill, because of what I said a while ago, for the valuation,
Oh, I'm fine with that, you fine with that? All right, number 1, I will make a motion that we accept Kate's performance evaluation as provided to us by MTS.
I will second that motion.
All those in favor,
uh,
roll call, please.
Oh, Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Blankenship,
Yes.
Mr. White,
Yes.
and Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Okay. That's on accepting the
Evaluation.
evaluation.
I make a
Now,
motion.
secondly, I make a motion that we approve that this city commission approve a 10% increase for K effective March the 27th of 2020.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please, ma'am.
Oh, Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Blankenship,
Yes.
Mr. White,
Yes.
and Mr. Davis. It is 3-1, ayes have it.
Again, I want to thank everybody for their time in doing this, and I appreciate the professionalism in which this has been handled. Absolutely, I
I
appreciate it.
appreciate it too. Everybody, all of, each of you here turned in paperwork, so appreciate the
I
feedback.
really do.
You gotta have feedback.
I can't say that enough. We're doing things right, and if we don't always agree, it's okay. Just be
As
honest.
long as we keep doing things right.
All right, general comments from citizens. Anybody sign up? Only person we'd have to be my father. You didn't sign up.
Well, I got a comment.
Oh, God.
I guess-
Break it,
Hey, I guess since you're an attorney, we might as well listen. We're paying you, we better listen.
Wanted to say that I'm filing a delinquent tax lawsuit for 2018 taxes next week. So we just finished the last,
You got a general
17,
idea
right?
of the number,
do what?
the number of how many?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Those numbers don't really even come through us, that, we get it straight from local government and they send it directly
Okay.
to the clerk's office. So
Okay.
it's kind of weird how it goes, but
But you're working nonetheless.
do what?
But you're working nonetheless.
Getting that.
And the last sale went very well for us.
Yeah, the last sale went really well. We didn't sell any properties and didn't buy any properties,
Which
so
is exactly what we wanted, right?
exactly what I was looking for. So, all right.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
We have a motion, we have a second. Favor? Aye. Opposed? We're out of here.
Everybody stay safe.
Yes, everybody, please try
I
to
promise
stay
we'll
safe.
keep you
and safe.
posted. If for some reason you're not getting emails, let me know. I'll turn it into a text.
This is Fred.
Jack, I'm sorry we're not.
Stay safe, stay healthy. See y'all later.
Have some Pepsi.
Have a good cigarette, it works for me.
Believe me, I like to be able to tell for.
I wonder when Sid House is gonna run.
It is.
Red box back here.
No, we don't want that, that's what it's.
Picked it back out.
We
got another one.
Yeah, we did.
No, it was decided in
That's
there.
what
Oh, did we not?
Okay.
Probably didn't know if they're gonna-
I thought we had done that
We
last year.
wrote a
You
check
dropped it next.
here, because what,
Did he?
it's supposed to be like 5 feet. Or instead of